All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Weatherization Day. If you'll just bear with me for one moment, I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can get this presentation started. All right. So as I said, good afternoon, happy Weatherization Day. The Weatherization Assistance Program is an incredibly successful federal, state, and local program. And it partners with every county in the U.S. and 5 U.S. territories. My name is Jennifer Johnston, and I have the pleasure of facilitating this presentation today. The Weatherization Assistance Program reduces energy costs for low-income households by increasing energy efficiency in their homes while also ensuring their health and safety. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, the program supports 8,500 jobs and provides weatherization services to approximately 35,000 households each year. Through the weatherization improvements and upgrades, these households save an average of $283, if not more, every year. The Weatherization Assistance Program is a valuable program to the district, and the mayor has proclaimed today, Friday, October 30th, as DC Weatherization Day. And as you can see here, we have her proclamation. We have a great presentation and panel with us here today. I'll kick off the presentation with an overview of the Weatherization Assistance Program and provide some information on some of DOE's Utility Assistance Program. Then we'll hear from Denise Blackson from the Office of the People's Council, who will be providing energy-saving tips. And last, but certainly not least, we'll be hearing from DeWitt Affa, who's DOE's very own energy auditor, who will be highlighting the importance of indoor air quality. We're going to be sharing a lot of information with you here today, so if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to enter them into the chat. If we're not able to get to them today, we'll certainly circle back with you via email. So I wanted to take this time to highlight the hashtag Here to Help DC campaign. This is a partnership between the Public Service Commission, the Office of the People's Council, the DC Sustainable Energy Utility, as well as the Department of Energy and Environment. This is a public awareness campaign to inform residents and businesses about energy and money-saving initiatives that will help minimize the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. So please be sure to follow the hashtag Here to Help DC to find out more information. The mission of the Weatherization Assistance Program is to reduce energy costs for low-income families, particularly for the elderly, people with disabilities, and children, by improving the energy efficiency of their homes while ensuring their health and safety. The Weatherization Assistance Program has been operating since 1976. It is the largest energy retrofit program in all of the nation and works with over 800 local agencies. The program has been operating for over 40 years, and within that time has weatherized over 7.4 million homes. I wanted to quickly note the flow of the program and how it reaches so many households. First, states and local agencies receive funding from the U.S. Department of Energy. Then, those states work with subgrantees to help administer the program, and those subgrantees work with contractors to weatherize those homes. As you can imagine, this program requires strong and trusting partnerships in order to make this program a success. With the Weatherization Assistance Program, we come into your home, complete an energy audit, and see what items can be upgraded to reduce your overall energy burden and make your home healthier and more comfortable. The energy auditors will take a look at several key items in your home. They'll inspect your HVAC equipment. They will complete a blower door test to understand the tightness of your home, which we will be hearing a little bit more from DeWitt later on in the presentation. They will review your energy bills and also look at your appliances to see what measures and habits can be implemented. And most importantly, the team will share educational material and tips with the homeowners or renters so they can continue to reduce their energy burden. Some typical weatherization measures may include insulation, duct sealing, heating and cooling system repairs or replacements, air filtration mitigation, and installing Energy Star lighting and appliances. We also include health and safety measures such as the carbon monoxide detectors as well as fire alarms. All right, so you've learned about the program. Now, how do you apply? First, a household needs to apply for LIHEAP, the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Once your application has been processed, you are eligible to apply for the weatherization. On the next slide, we're going to review the income requirements, but I want to note that if you do not meet the income requirements, your household could be categorically eligible. For example, if you are retired and receive Social Security, you may qualify for the program. If you have any questions about the application, please feel free to visit our website or call the Weatherization hotline at 202-299-3316. All right, so we are in October, and as of October 1st has kicked off fiscal year 2021. So I wanted to pause and show the income guidelines. So these are the income guidelines for LIHEAP, UDP, the Utility Discount Program, as well as weatherization. So the Weatherization Assistance Program and LIHEAP hand in hand. LIHEAP provides a one-time benefit of anywhere between $250 to $1,800 to your utility bill, and it's dependent on a few factors. 1, household size. 2, household income. 3, heating source. And 4th, type of dwelling. During a fiscal year, a household can apply for LIHEAP, regular benefit one time, and then they'll also have the opportunity to participate in the emergency LIHEAP benefit as well. Since utilities are not cutting off services at this time, if you've already participated in LIHEAP and you notice that energy bill is getting above $250, you may be eligible to participate. So the benefit amount could equal the price of your utility bill and could be up to a benefit of $600. Note that while you're applying for the utility for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, we'll also get you signed up for the Utility Discount Program. So LIHEAP is that one-time benefit, while UDP is a monthly discount on your bill. I also want to note that during the COVID-19 pandemic, there is additional CREAC funding for water assistance. So if you notice that your water bill is becoming high, you may be eligible for emergency water assistance for up to $2,000. So to get to this, to receive this relief, please feel free to include your water bill with your LIHEAP application. All right, so we are officially entering the colder months of the year. And with that, I wanted to highlight our Emergency Mechanical System Program, which offers repairs and replacements for inoperable HVAC equipment to income qualified residents. This funding is on a first-come, first-served basis. And in order to participate, you need to have a red tag from Washington Gas, as well as a contractor's estimate on their letterhead for the repair or replacement. Now, before I give the microphone over to Denise, I wanted to highlight one last program that's new to the Department of Energy and Environment, and that's our lead reduction program, which provides funding to reduce or eliminate lead-based paint hazards in eligible single-family and multifamily properties within the district. So I wanted to go over really briefly how the program operates. So after your household submits an application and is eligible for the program and income verified, our team will conduct a lead inspection and risk assessment. If this assessment does show that there are lead-based paint hazards within your household, then we will work with a contractor to compile a scope of work. The contractor will come into your home, address the lead-based paint hazards, and before they leave, they'll complete a lead hazards clearance test to make sure that the home is nice and healthy. I do want to note that depending on the level of work that is needed inside your home, you may be required to temporarily relocate. So I know that I just threw a lot of information your way. Everything that I discussed is available on our webpage, so please feel free to visit our webpage or call 311 to be connected to our energy assistance staff. I have also included my contact information here as well. If you would like to reach out to me, I'd be happy to address any questions or concerns. So with that, I am going to pass it over to our wonderful partner, Denise Blackson, over at the Office of the People's Council. And with that, Denise, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm happy to be here with DOEE partnering for Weatherization Day. On behalf of Sandra Fry, the People's Council of the Office of the Council. Let me share a little bit with you, information with you about the mission of the Office of the People's Council. We are your utility advocates of natural gas, electric, home phone service, and also water. My name is Denise Blackson, and I'm a community outreach specialist in the Consumer Service Division of the Office of the People's Council. Next slide, please. All right. So as you can see on our rack card, OPC, a key role is to provide education and outreach. We are here to help you with disconnections, service complaints, third-party suppliers, utility bill disputes, solar energy resources, payment arrangements, energy efficiency, and consumer education. Okay, next slide, please. Today, I'm here to present to you, as I've shared on behalf of Sandra Fry, the People's Council, OPC's Energy Efficiency Workshop. And the workshop is called Keeping It Simple and Practical. The reason why it's called Keeping It Simple and Practical, because these are simple and practical tips I'm going to share that's not too costly to the consumer. Now, I'm going to share a little information with you on a home energy audit. But as Jennifer shared, the WIT, who's a home energy auditor, will go more into detail. As you can see in the picture on the screen, the home energy auditor comes to your home with a red blower door. It has an infrared camera, a blower fan, and a computer that's plugged into an outlet. And it will tell you all the inefficiencies and deficiencies in your home. I'll let the WIT go more into detail on your home energy audit, but I just wanted to share with you and let you see a picture of how it looks. I'm going to share a little information with you now about the refrigerator. You know the rubber insulation that closes the door on the refrigerator, that seal that goes from the refrigerator and freezer to the door? I want you to get in the habit of keeping that clean and free of debris. When that is sticky and has grime in it, it causes the insulation to kind of tear away from the freezer or refrigerator. And it makes your refrigerator not be as energy efficient if that happens. So I want you to get in the habit of keeping that clean and free of grime and debris. Also, you see at the very bottom of the refrigerator, we have a vent. And that vent sometimes collects dust. So I want you to take a small brush, a little water, and brush the dust off as needed to keep your refrigerator more energy efficient. Also, In the interim, when our refrigerators are a little less empty in the later part of the month, I want you to get in the habit of filling up water containers, empty milk jugs or juice containers, and filling it up with water to fill up that condensed space inside the refrigerator. If your refrigerator is not full, it causes the motor to try to work a little harder to keep something cold that's not there. So I want you to get in the habit of filling a condensed space with empty water jugs. So that way you also have cold water to drink. Now, as you see on the screen, you see I have a thermometer. That thermometer can go in your refrigerator or your freezer. You can get two. You can put them in your refrigerator and your freezer. This will tell you if your refrigerator is working properly. Make sure you don't have the dial turned up too high because I've done that. I've had frozen eggs before in my refrigerator. So can't have that. If it goes into the red zone, that's the danger zone. If it stays in the blue, that means you have it on a proper setting and your refrigerator is more energy efficient. Next slide, please. Let's talk a little bit about lighting. In the first picture, I have a picture of a CFL. Now, the CFL is called compact fluorescent light. Then I have LEDs in the other three pictures, light emitting diodes. But I want to know if any of you are still using the old incandescent lighting. Those are the light bulbs that's hot to the touch. You can put your hand a little bit away from that bulb and you'll feel the heat coming from that bulb. Those bulbs are not energy efficient bulbs. I want you to get rid of those and change your bulbs to CFL or LEDs. Now, a CFL contains a little mercury, and some manufacturers are moving away from those bulbs. They're just having the LEDs, permitting LEDs, because LEDs does not contain any mercury at all. Now, a CFL, if you were to break that bulb, I would need you to put on a glove, get a box and some wet paper towel and scoop the contents into a bag, put it into the box, and then dispose of it at your local recycling center. Because they contains a little bit of mercury, if all of us was putting that into our regular garbage, we would be polluting our environment. So please dispose of CFLs as I have just shared with you. Now, the package. The package of the bulb tells you the whole story. It'll tell you how much the bulb costs, how much savings you could save on the bulb, the number of years the bulb would last. And you remember the old incandescent bulbs had wattage? Bulbs now share lumens. So some may say like a 60-watt bulb is equivalent to 900 lumens, but the package tells the whole story. So I want you to get in the habit of looking at the package to learn all about that particular bulb for all your lighting needs. Now, if you were looking at the package on the right-hand side of the package, it may say daylight. Now, if you wanted a very bright look in your home, you make sure you get a bulb that says daylight. You know, not so long ago, I used to shop for my dad, and he would always say that his house was dark. I was not reading the package. I would just grab the bulbs that were more reasonable or economical for the cost. So I was grabbing a package that actually said soft white. So be sure to read the package. It tells you the whole story. Now, a soft white bulb is for when you want a more muted look. You know, sometimes you go into the grocery store and you see the setting in the produce department and some of it is kind of a soft light. That would be a soft white bulb. Now, if you want to read, you need to have the bulb very bright. So make sure the package says daylight. Next slide, please. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about vampire guzzlers. You know, small appliances, I want you to get in the habit of unplugging small appliances. A small appliance is any appliance you can physically pick up and move from one counter to the next. Now, that can be your toasters, your blenders, your mixers, all your herbs. Those are vampire energy guzzlers. Let me share with you one I was famous for when I first started working at the Office of the People's Council about 5 years ago. I would be down at the Office of the People's Council, and you know what was plugged in my home? That cell phone charger. From the time I took it off the charger that morning, I left it in until I was going to use it again at night. But I want you to know anything that's plugged into an electrical outlet is draining power. Sometimes you can still see the light on an appliance or the TV or how the microwave is keeping the clock time. That's because it's draining energy. I want you to get in a habit of putting your small appliances on power strips or surge protectors. Now, pictured here over top of the small appliances, I have a regular power strip. A regular power strip you can use, and you see the red on and off button on there, the red light. You can plug your appliances into a power strip, and when you leave for the day or you're no longer using that appliance, you can just click that one switch and turn your power off. Also, I have here is a programmable power strip. Now, the programmable power strip, you can set for 7 days a week. You can set your lamps to come on. You may get home around 6 o'clock in the evening and it's a little dark outside. So you may say, I want my lamps to come on around 5:50 p.m. so I don't come into a dark home. Because me, I left in my house, I leave the lights on all three floors. I even pull the shower curtain back, but that's another story for me. I might be reading too many of those books and watching movies. So I want you to get in a habit of unplugging small appliances and putting them on power strips or surge protectors. Now on the bottom picture, I have a surge protector. Now the difference in the power strip and the surge protector is the power strip, you can just use that to put your multiple devices on and click on when not in use. The surge protector is for, sometimes when the power outage and you get a little jolt when the power comes back on, that automatically triggers the surge protector to cut off and not reach your appliances, because it can damage your appliances to be plugged directly into a wall and not into a surge protector if that was to happen. Next slide, please. Okay, let's talk a little about the washing machine. Which one of you know the proper cycles to wash your clothes on? Well, if you thought cold cycle, you are absolutely correct. The only time you need to wash clothes on hot is when you have a doctor's order sharing that this person's clothes needs to be washed in extremely hot water. Otherwise, it's the detergent that's actually getting your clothes clean. So you have to monitor which detergent, read the back of the bottle, see which one is actually working for you, because that's actually what's getting your clothes clean. And believe me, I'm a little seasoned. I know that our parents, grandparents always said hot water for those white clothes. But believe me, with more energy efficient standards now, you can actually use the cold wash your clothes. Now, let's talk a little bit about weather stripping. On the bottom picture, you can see the plastic there and the tape. That is to weather strip your windows. Now, when I had my first apartment, I used to keep the air conditioners in the window all year round. I would just take some duct tape, and it wasn't a pretty sight at all. I would duct tape the windows, the plastic around the wall and the window, everything. But the proper way to insulate your window is to put the insulation in the inside of the window and seal it around with the actual seal adhesive you see on the bottom of the string. That's the proper way. Because anytime you can feel air coming around your window, or some people may light a candle or put it on the windowsill to see if it blows out. But anytime you can put your hand there and you can feel around your window, that means that you are not energy efficient. Your window is not energy efficient. So I want you to get you an insulation kit, not too costly, and you can do this yourself or have your local handyman to do it for you. Also, have you ever had a light switch or socket cover to crack and you can feel air coming from behind that outlet or light switch? Above in the pictures, I know it's not, hopefully you can see it. They have them for like about 12 or 14 in a package, your local hardware store, and they're like $2, $2 or $3 purchase. And these, remember, these are simple and practical tips I'm sharing that you can use around your home that's not too cost effective. You can put that behind your socket cover or your light switch, and you can make your light switch or socket cover a little more energy efficient, blocking the air from coming from behind the wall into your home. I'm also going to share a little bit with you about a door sweeper. Because anytime you can feel air coming from around your door, or you can see the light when you're just sitting back in your living room and you can see the light around your door, you can use that same self-adhesive I have at the bottom of the screen and outline the trim of your door to be sure that you can't see the light or feel air coming in your door. And you can get a strip to put down the bottom of your door and seal off the air from coming in. Next slide, please. Now, this is how you can reach me. And if you have any questions, feel free. I'll be here after DeWitt present to ask any questions you may have. And I thank you again on behalf of the People's Council, Sandra Madavoo Fry, for allowing me to present OPC's workshop, Energy Efficiency, Keeping It Simple and Practical. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Janice. Lots of helpful information here. So if folks are interested in having you maybe come and speak at their school or event, should they just send you an email if they would be interested in receiving this presentation to maybe a closer group of people?
Yes. Sounds great. Just reach out to me by email at dblockson@opc-dc.gov. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So with that, I am going to pass it over to DeWitt, who is a DOEE Energy Auditor. How's it going, DeWitt?
Pretty good, pretty good. I learned a lot. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer and Dennis. You gave us a lot of information. I think if people start doing whatever you guys inform them, they'll probably save about 15% without doing anything. And that's a great job. That's a very good information. Okay, my name is David Afa. I'm energy auditor / QCI. I work for DOEE. I've been working here over 10 years. And as Jennifer mentions, this is a low-income program, and we do a lot of them. Today, mainly, I'm going to concentrate in terms of air quality, how weatherization look at air quality. But I'm going to go briefly and how we kind of assess a home. Okay. So once, as Jennifer mentioned, once the clients are qualified, they will schedule us to do an audit. So the auditors, before he gets out, he gets energy consumption, a gas bill, electric bill, and water bill. And at the same time, he will know how old that house is. So that's two critical information that he needs to have. So once he gets to the client's house, of course, we'll do an interview and make sure we get all the feedback we get from the client, because the client know their house better than anybody. They can tell you what kind of problems they have. They can tell you what kind of issues in terms of one part of the house being cold than the other. If they have water issues, it will save you a lot of money if you just listen to their concern. So once he does that, the first thing he will do is he will make sure he will have always, an auditor should have a CO monitor on, personal CO monitor on him. So before he gets in the house, he actually measures the ambient CO on the outside. And once he gets in the home, he does the same thing. So make sure he doesn't expose himself or others for any CO contamination. So our policy is, of course, at the end of the day, we want to make the house efficient. But our priority is whatever we do no harm to the client, to us, and the people who come and work. So most of the audit is actually consumed in terms of health and safety. We'll assess there is no any existing health and safety issues. So thoroughly from outside to inside, I'll just go briefly in terms of the things that we look at. So first you look at the outside structures, the roof, the wall, the foundation, the floor, the ceilings, the windows, gutters, the downspouts, if there is any water, the potential water to go inside the house, the gradings, if they have crawl space, do they have water? He does assess all that. He does assess for any possible asbestos, the sidings, some old insulation in the attic, the pipe traps, assess for a lead paint. Because if we have lead paint, there is a limitation in terms of what we do and how we do our job. So it does the same. Appliance and mechanical systems. We test thoroughly the heating systems. Use a combustion analyzer to test the efficiency and the CO. We test for draft spillage. We test the dryer vent. All this, and including, of course, the indoor quality. What affects the indoor quality? All the above I mentioned are a contributor to the indoor qualities. And at the same time, the client store chemical households inside the home. We test for gas leak. As I said, the gas oven, the gas dryer, gas furnace, anything combustible. Radon, mold, moisture. He will do thoroughly all those tests before we recommend any efficiency method to be installed in the house. So if he's satisfied in terms of the house being safe, he will go ahead and recommend the measures. If he finds anything that's health and safety issue, then he will recommend the health and safety issue to be addressed before we actually start implementing the insulation, the air sealing, everything else. Example, if they have a roof leak, there is no reason how insulation in there, because it will just get damaged. It becomes even more dangerous, because once it starts to get wet, then we'll start to have moisture. And moisture becomes mold, and it just keeps going. So we have to eliminate the sources before we do that. So after we do all that, and if we are satisfied, the last thing he does is as a blower door test. Blower door test is one of the best equipments that I have in terms of assessing air leaks in the home. So as you see in here, as Dennis mentioned before, she showed you a picture of how it does. This is our blower door. This is actual number. Audit. If you see, it's always measured at 50 Pascal. This is blower door does air leak. It's just the pressure difference between inside and outside, and it converts that to the CFM. CFM means it's cubic feet per minute. How much air is leaking in and out of the house. And this CFM, as it is, it doesn't mean anything. We can change this CFM by calculation into a whole size, or as what we call is it's an ACH, it's an air change per hour. Air change per hour means is for a given volume, if you have an ACH1, That means if you have, let's say, a house is 1200 by 10 or by 20, and you have a given volume. Let's say your volume is 50,000 meter. So that means is in 1 hour, all that air goes outside and another fresh air comes back. So your house rate will become is 1 air change per hour. So the higher the air change per hour is, the less efficient your house is. So once we do this, we know how the house is leaking. Based on that, if you go to the next slide, once we get this number, Jennifer, if you go to the next slide, please. Yeah, okay. So how we based our everything we do is an ASHRAE. ASHRAE controls in terms of what the ventilation rate for a given house. As weatherization throughout the whole 50 years or so, come a long way to come to this point. In the previous, we used to air seal, not worry about any other effect it has on the home. But now, house is a whole system. The heating system, your wall, your ceiling, everything is tied together. So you cannot take one thing and accept the other to work properly. If you make the house too tight, there is no air, you start having a mold issue. The mechanical system does not perform as well. So we'll have to do the whole package and look at as a one system. So we use this ASHRAE 62 2016 ventilation rate. We actually put most of the information in here for us to know what the house ventilation rate and what is required. So from the bottom up, you'll see it's an existing home. We'll ask what kind of house it is. Is it detached or detached? It's a row home or as a detached, and it shows you what the location of their area is. That will calculate your weather pattern. Then we'll ask you what your floor, the area floor, your living space is, how many people live in it, what's the height of the building, and you see the measure leak at 50 Pascal. This house is, let's say, it was measured at 100 CFM. Then you go on to the next and I'll ask you what kind of ventilation system do you have. Does it have, the kitchen has a fan? Does it have a window? The bathroom has a fan. Does it have a window? So once you get all this information in, it gives you right on the bottom second line, it says dwelling unit ventilation run solver. So this house, with this condition, with this amount of people living in that house, in that area, it will need a fan that runs continuously with the 26 CFM rating. Okay, so on the right bottom, on the bottom, it says 2640. So this house does not need any ventilation if the CFM above that says 2400 is like the same as 2640. If it's 26, let's say if it's 2740, you don't need ventilation for a given leakage. So that's how we actually do it. If you go back one slide for me, Jennifer. Okay, this is the type of ventilation. This is actually a bathroom fan we use as a ventilation. This is a really, really good, very quiet and efficient bathroom fan. So we use this as a whole system. One is it's a spot ventilation. It means if anybody wants to take a shower, when they take a shower, they flip the switch, it turns on and run as high as 100 CFM just to remove the moisture. Once they turn it off, it's on off position, it kicks the timer and the timer will do continuous ventilation. So if my ventilation rate is 40, as you see on that one, I will just keep running at 40 CFM, continuous, removing the stale air out of the house. So we use this as spot ventilation at the same time as the whole house. So this is the final stage, what we do once we test everything after the work is complete. Final blower door number is whatever was after the work done. We come back and set the ventilation rate based on the last blower door result. There is a couple of ways you can address ventilation in weatherization. This is called just a spot ventilation and a house ventilation. But the more balanced ventilation types are the ERV, Energy Recovery Ventilation System, and the HRV, Heat Recovery Ventilation System. Those are the balanced system. Why they call them a balanced system is the amount of air they take in, the amount of the air they took out. It's balanced. There is no pressure difference in the house. That's the more effective way of doing it, but they are a bit costly, and we have always a limitation on how much money we spend in a low-income house. Any other than that, I think any weatherization work we do 100% inspection in everything we do. We'll make sure our clients are safe before we actually close the job. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions, fire up. Thank you, Jennifer.
Great. Thank you so much, Dawit. So, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now. How has that kind of changed the work that you and your team do with the weatherization program?
We do actually go because it's really a safety issue, especially when you do a heating system and stuff like that. We have to make sure we do test them. With the pandemic, sometimes we allow the contractor to test them, and we make sure we get the results, the test results and pictures. But we start doing an audit, physical audit, and inspection as well.
Gotcha. Well, so much, Dawit and Denise, for all of this wonderful information. I'm just going through the chat really quickly. We haven't had any questions come in, but no worries. So here is Dawit's contact information. If you have any questions or comments on the energy auditing process. And with that, I know we are a few minutes ahead of schedule. But just wanted to thank everyone so much for joining us here today. DOEE, as well as the Office of the People's Council, are here to serve and help. So please use this as a resource. And of course, if you call 311, you can always be connected to a district employee to help you out with your energy assistance needs. And with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Happy Friday, everyone, and I hope you have a stay safe and healthy. And thanks all.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You as well.
All right.